neurological and autoimmune diseases that symptoms accumulate slowly, bit by bit, over the course of decades. This is what happened to me. As a doctor, I was compelled to find answers, a diagnosis, and a cure. As a patient, I was compelled to save my own life. Like most physicians, I was always focused on quickly diagnosing my patients and then using drugs and surgical procedures to treat them. That is, until I became a patient myself. Conventional medicine was failing me. I saw that. I was heading toward a bedridden life. Since the beginning of our profession, physicians have used self-experimentation, either to prove a scientific point or to treat themselves when the conventional treatments were of limited value. In that tradition, and in the face of this chronic, progressive disease for which there was no cure, I began to experiment on myself. What I didn't expect were the stunning results I got from my self-experimentation. I not only arrested my disease, I achieved a dramatic restoration of my health and my function. What I learned changed forever how I saw the battling worlds of health and disease. More than 100 years ago, Thomas Edison said, "The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his or her patients in the care of the human frame, in a proper diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease." This became my new course, my passion and my mission. I understood health and disease in an entirely new way. I became a new person, both physically and emotionally, both personally and professionally. I also became passionately committed to helping other people become new people too. My diagnosis. The stress and pressure of medical school may have been what triggered my first symptoms in 1980, years before I had any idea what they were. I would eventually call them zingers, intense stabs of facial pain. They lasted just a moment and would come randomly, sometimes in waves, the episodes building over a week or two, and then gradually fading over the next several. They were most likely to happen during my busiest and most brutal hospital rotations, with shifts lasting 36 hours and allowing for little sleep. Over the years, they became steadily worse, like electrical pain that felt like a 10,000-volt cattle prod sticking me in the face. At the time, I thought the episodes of face pains were an aggravation, nothing more. I thought it was an isolated, unexplained problem, one of those medical mysteries that don't really require solving. Even as a doctor, I didn't think much about it. I was too busy with my own patients to dedicate too much diagnostic thought to myself. I certainly never suspected an autoimmune problem. This was my first symptom, but it was not likely the moment when multiple sclerosis began its relentless march through my central nervous system. For at least a decade before then, probably two, my brain and spinal cord had been under siege from friendly fire, my own immune system attacking the myelin that insulated my nerves. I couldn't feel it at first. I couldn't feel it for years. Nevertheless, it was happening. As the years passed, I became a mother, first to my son Zach, then my daughter Zebby. The rigors of parenting and full-time work distracted me, but my multiple sclerosis clock was ticking. This was a clock I did not hear, even though alarms of visual dimming and the zingers were going off. I fully expected to be an active, adventurous, vibrant woman for at least 40 more years. I imagined mountain climbing with my children, even as a white-haired old grandma. I never thought my unexplained symptoms would have anything to do with something as basic as my mobility or as crucial as my thinking. One evening, at a dinner party, I was talking to a neurologist, and I happened to mention that I perceived the color blue somewhat differently in my right and left eyes. Blues were a bit brighter when I used my right eye than if I used the left. She seemed interested. "You'll have multiple sclerosis someday," she said. It was the first time anyone had said those words. My father died the next morning, and so her words were forgotten in the chaos of grief. Years later, I recalled those prescient